370 episodes, 12 years, 400 tents that became an empire. And now, it's over. A few days ago, Mehmed posted something on Instagram that hit every fan of this universe right in the chest. He said the journey that started with Ertuğrul Bey and carried through Osman Gazi and Sultan Orhan has come to an end. He thanked the cast, the crew, and all of us watching in 150 countries. And then he added one line that got everyone talking. Get ready, because soon we'll meet again, with new legends. So, yes, Kuruluş. Orhan is done. No season 2, at least not right now. And if you're sitting there feeling that strange emptiness only a show like this can leave behind, I get it. Today, I'm walking you through exactly what to watch next. So, let's start with Mehmed, Fetihler Sultanı. If there is one show that should be next on your list, it's this one. If you watched Dirilish Ertuğrul, loved it, and never gave this one a real chance, you're missing out on what might be the best historical drama Turkey has made in years. Here's the story. After his brother dies and his father steps down, a young prince named Mehmed takes the Ottoman throne. He's young. People doubt him. The Grand Vizier thinks Mehmed's dream of conquering Constantinople is pure fantasy. And for a while, Mehmed actually loses the throne. But he comes back, older, sharper. And this time, nothing stops him. Season 2 pushes him toward the siege that defines his legacy. Season 3 jumps 8 years ahead. Mehmed is firmly in control. A new threat appears in Vlad the Impaler. And back home, his own sons start showing the first cracks of a rivalry that's going to haunt the empire later. Serkan Çayoğlu plays Mehmed with an intensity that just fits. The show even brought in international names like Ghassan Masood for Season 2. Proof this production isn't playing around. Cinematic, fast. Historically grounded but never boring. If you skipped this thinking nothing could replace Ertuğrul, this isn't a replacement. It's a different kind of masterpiece. Now let's go somewhere darker. The Assassins, Hashashin. This show is set in 11th century Persia, and it tells the story of Hasan al-Sabbah, a man who builds a secret order from the legendary fortress of Alamut Castle. His followers? Trained killers? His targets? The most powerful rulers of his time, including the Seljuk Sultan himself. What makes this even more interesting is that Hasan's story runs parallel to two of his old childhood friends, Omar Khayyam, the famous poet, and Nizam al-Mulk, a powerful political figure. 3 friends, 3 completely different paths. One of them becomes a feared assassin leader. Karim Abdelaziz plays Hasan al-Sabbah, and he plays him with this calm, calculated energy that makes the character even more unsettling. It's an Arabic production, but it's been translated into multiple languages including English and Urdu, so language isn't really a barrier here. Now here's something completely different, and it's coming very soon. The crazy inventor Al-Jazari. Bozkır Film just confirmed filming has started on a brand new show for TRT Tabi, and this one isn't about war or conquest. It's about a genius. The show tells the story of Ismail Al-Jazari, a 12th century Muslim engineer who basically invented the foundations of robotics centuries before the word even existed. His mechanical designs were so advanced that historians say they later influenced Leonardo da Vinci himself. Çınar Yener plays young El-Kezari, and the story follows his childhood. This is the same production team behind Dirilish and Kuruluş, so the quality bar is already set high. If you're tired of swords and battles for a moment, this gives you something fresh. Science, invention, and a completely different kind of hero. Bozkır also has another project coming, and this one could be huge. It's called Ask the Taht, set during the Anatolian Seljuk Empire, the world that existed right before the Ottomans rose to power. If you've ever wondered what came before Ertuğrul's story, this fills that gap. The series follows Sultan Alaaddin Keykubat I, a name Ertuğrul fans might remember from a brief appearance in Dirilish. This time, we get his full reign. The writing team includes names behind Mehmed, Fetihler Sultanı, and Uyanış, Büyük Selçuklu. It's expected to air on ATV instead of TRT, with full casting still unannounced. and a planned release in the 2026 to 2027 season. Little Genius, Ibn Sina. If you like the idea of al-Jazari, you'll probably enjoy Little Genius, Ibn Sina too, and the good news is, it's already airing. This series follows the childhood of Ibn Sina, known in the West as Avicenna, the man who became one of the greatest physicians and philosophers of the Islamic Golden Age. But here, he's just a kid, a curious, almost unstoppable kid who designs irrigation systems for animals, predicts wars at the local bazaar before anyone believes him, and basically can't stop himself from solving problems nobody asked him to solve. It's lighthearted, smart, and surprisingly fun for a historical drama. A great pick if you want something a bit gentler than war epics. Next is Mevlana Rumi. This one takes a completely different emotional direction. Set in 13th century Anatolia, right when the Mongol invasion is terrifying everyone in the region, the story follows Jalal ad-Din Rumi. Yes, that Rumi, the poet whose words are still quoted everywhere today. But this isn't really an action series. It's about how one man's wisdom and compassion start to change people around him during one of the darkest periods in the region's history. Bülent Inal plays Rumi, and if that name sounds familiar, it's because he also played Sultan Abdulhamid in another show we're about to talk about. Here's another Bozkır film production, and this one connects directly to the Mongol storyline we just talked about. It's called Bozkır Arslanı Celaleddin. It follows Sultan Celaleddin, the last ruler of the Khwarezmian Empire, who fought against the Mongols harder and longer than almost anyone else in that era. Season 1 shows his empire collapsing city by city, Bukhara, Samarkand, Otrar, as the Mongols sweep through. Season 2 picks up after his defeat, following him into exile as he tries to rebuild alliances in India and Persia, while staying one step ahead of Mongol forces hunting him down. Emre Kıvılcım plays Celaleddin, and here's a fun detail for the cross-series fans. Sezgin Erdemir, who plays Timur Melik here, is the same actor who played Sungur Tekin in Dirilish Ertuğrul. So if you've been watching this universe for years, you'll recognize a familiar face in a brand new role. Fath al-Andalus, Conquest of Andalusia. Let's go even further back in time now, to the 8th century. This series tells the story of Tariq ibn Ziyad, the commander who led the Muslim conquest of Spain, known back then as Andalusia. The story follows his campaigns through Tangier, Ceuta, and Toledo, all the way to his most famous achievement. But it's not just about battles. There's a real personal conflict at the center of it too, between Tariq and his own commander, Musa ibn Nusayr, over who really deserves credit for the conquest. It's a Kuwaiti-Syrian production with 30 episodes. It's also been translated into several languages, including Urdu and English. Destan, the epic. Now for something a lot of fans call the Turkish Game of Thrones. It's called Destan. Destan is set in 8th century Central Asia, way before Islam had reached the Turkic world. The story follows Akiz, a fierce warrior girl whose father was killed by the ruthless Alpagu Khan. She grows up vowing revenge, but fate puts her directly in the path of Batuga, Alpagu Khan's own son, who happens to be disabled and has been pretending to be far less intelligent than he actually is, just to survive in a dangerous palace. Two people who should be enemies end up becoming each other's only allies. Ebru Şahin plays Akiz, and Adip Tepeli plays Batuga. It's 28 episodes, fully complete, so it's perfect if you want a strong female-led story with political intrigue and real emotional weight. And finally, if you want something massive, something that'll keep you busy for weeks, then watch Payitaht Abdulhamid. It covers the final years of Sultan Abdulhamid II's reign, right at the end of the 19th century. The Ottoman Empire is surrounded by threats from every direction: European powers, secret political movements, and enemies hiding inside the palace itself. Abdulhamid has to outsmart all of them just to keep the empire and the caliphate from collapsing. It covers real historical moments too, like the Hijaz Railway project, and Theodor Herzl's attempts to negotiate for land in Palestine. Bülent Ünal plays Abdulhamid here as well. Yes, the same actor from Mevlana Rumi. And honestly, watching him play two completely different historical figures shows just how versatile he is. This show ran for 5 full seasons and 154 episodes. So if you want something to replace the void Kuruluş, Orhan left behind in terms of sheer length, this is your answer. So that's the list.
Which one are you starting with first? Let me know in the comments. And if this video helped you figure out what to watch next, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next.